Yalmar, let's start with you. Oh, shit. Hold on. Where my phone?
Oh yeah, I didn't respond to that last one you sent.
No. So we can just do that in game, unless you want to do it in chat. We can just get it done with now, though.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and reread what I wrote to you,
Okay.
because it's way better than whatever I make up on the spot. Yalmar, you fly over your old village. You see it is long burnt and abandoned. Signs of orc and dark elf raiding, but it must have been years since then. You go to the place from your visions where your mother finally washed ashore, after bearing you across oceans in her arms. As you stand, storm clouds rise over the horizon to the west, a cold wind blows, and you use the same powers that you learned in the warp to try to commune with her spirit. She wants to see you, you know, and her visage appears, pale and luminescent, staring out somewhere beyond sight. You wonder if she hasn't always been here. Despair was a proud woman, but sad. Her golden hair flows down to her back and with the wind gently. She is tall, somewhat thin, but with sharp eyes that glow brightly in the night. She would be perfectly beautiful if not for the lines and creases of untold worries. Uh,
Do you want me to read the parts that I already
you can do
sent?
whatever you want.
All right. Um, yeah. So I'm just gonna read it from there. Yarmar will pull the axe of despair because I liked it.
Yeah, that's
That's what
fine.
That's what I wanted it to be. Yalmar will pull the axe of despair from his side and look at it while standing next to the spirit of despair. I've often wondered where I would begin, or what I would even say. Our people, cursed, and I doubly so. Extending the axe to her, since I was a boy, I've often wondered why I felt the urge to fight. Why am I filled with such rage, such power? Why do I only bring despair, Mother? The extension is an offering, Yalmar's expression almost as a plea to have answers for his burdened soul.
Hmm. Yalmar, she doesn't look at you for some time. It doesn't seem like she heard you, but she crosses her arms across her stomach, and then she turns and she grips the axe. Instead, she turns it around and places it right back in your hands. I cast myself into the sea for only one reason, Fight. To see you yet live. She waves a hand at the ocean. Power and our people are doomed. Rage may know this, but he still struggles on. Such is why I loved him dearest of my brothers. And she sighs. What burdens you? What weight do you carry that you must come to me and give me your weapon? You will have need of it. Her voice doesn't seem to come from her. It carries over the wind like a distant echo blowing in from the western storm.
Hmm. Having the axe placed back in his hand, Yalmar will slowly let it fall back down by his side. I've been confused, manipulated, blinded, but at the same time, when I had the choice to do the right thing, I always went with the option that was set before me by somebody else. I'm not sure where to go from here. I want to leave this place to move forward into what comes next. Our people are just slaves here, but at the same time, I feel with the power that I was born with, shouldn't I protect those weaker than me? Shouldn't I do my best to ensure that perhaps the evils of the world wouldn't make it to them if I could stop them?
Can you?
Not,
Can you stop it? Can
not
you
sure at
fix
this
and
point.
right a world that we don't even have a place in?
I'm not sure at this point. I've met another along my journeys, Worth. He shared insights with me that began this ponderance, this wonderment of what should I really do. The Golden One himself mentioned once to me that I had free will, but it wasn't true. It was a lie. And if those who we would serve would lie to us, then why should we be any better to those who would serve us?
He would control you. Yes. There is one thing that would make me proud of you. The one thing that you could do that would never disappoint me. And that is live. Whatever you must do. That is not our fate. And that was your fate, as it was intended, before I cast myself from the stones. Live, fight, whatever you must do, and wherever you must go. If you do that, it will be enough for me.
Then that is what I will do. I will survive, and I won't let anything stop me from what comes next.
If you can find it in your heart, she turns back and stares out over to the west. Forgive my brothers. They serve purposes not meant for them, in a world that wasn't built for them, with power that they shouldn't have. It's all too much for them. It is a cruel thing.
Yalmar's gonna face her now, and he's gonna yet again hold out the axe of despair. I think that, if I'm correct, I may be able to bring you along with me, move you from this spot. I know that our spirits, they hold in this world even after death. I don't want you to stare out over this plain as it dies. Come, join me for what comes next. Perhaps when it comes to your brothers, you may have a word with them before they join me as well.
She smiles so sadly toward you, Yalmar. I am proud of you, fight. Not yet. When the ending comes, return to me. You will need my power. You will need all of our power before the end. There's another one with you, is there not?
Yes.
I remember him. His power is great, and he may grow greater than all of us.
Yes, I've had dealings back and forth, up and down, about morality. But I think I'm over that now. Morality is just an opinion. My side's better than yours, your side's less than mine. But it only matters if we make it matter.
The only thing that matters to me, and power too, is that you live. That is all anyone could ever ask from you. Do not give your life away, and do not seek to throw it into some war that will end your life. I wish this had never come to pass. I wish he had never dropped from the sky that day. I wish the island had never been. Now I wish that you live. Do this for me, Yalmar. Fight. Return to me before the end, and we will go together. With that, a wind blows over the beach. You can see the blue outline of her spirit begin blowing with it. She starts fading.
Promise. And as she fades, I promise I will fulfill your wish. And as she's fading, Yalmar's just going to slowly lift into the air and fly off. He'll put the axe of despair back on his hip, and he'll keep it there for when the time comes.
Alright. Is there anything pressing in Barboza that any of you need to address?
Weiss is going to do a bit of shopping around.
Vlad is actually, yes, now that I think about it, Vlad is going to go do some casing. He's going to go, he hasn't stolen something in a while. He's going to walk the rings and keep an eye out for a shop that looks fun.
Barboza has grown prosperous in the time that you've been away, not in any small piece to Bernard's mines. Lots of wealth has flowed into the city. The harbors have grown a bit more active, however, there's many grumblings from sailors and ill tidings of strange things in the ocean, and many people take the long way around from Bretonia, keeping a large distance. Weiss, as you mull around, you'll occasionally see Vlad, somewhere in the distance, casing over shops. Vlad, you're looking around. There's not much in the first ring, but you're allowed into the second ring, and you can see that here many wealthy merchants and nobles. You see the towering hotel in the side to your right as you come in from the southern gate.
This place is pretty shitty but the dandy, I guess.
Vlad, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask, are you traveling with Weiss, or are you just kind of on your own?
Vlad's talking to himself.
I wasn't sure if we were together or not.
No, yeah, Vlad would have split off a little bit. He knows Weiss is not gonna be accepting of Vlad casing areas, thinking about stealing.
There's
I
one
got you.
There's one corpulent noble that you spot, Vlad, as you're perusing the shops. He's walking down, and he has on his left hand he has a young officer-looking man with a short sword hanging from his left side, dressed in officer's garb. And to his right, he has a female secretary just kind of moving around with him, and he's laughing and calling out and acting belligerent as he moves through the area. He actually passes by you, and he stops and he looks at you, and he looks you up and down, and he says, "Oh, so we're letting in vagabonds and foreigners now, are we?"
You talking to me, friend?
Ah! What language is that? What dialect is he speaking? And the young man next to him says, "I believe that's from the northern country, Kislev, maybe." Oh. And he gives you a condescending smile, and he says, "Oh then, have you come to our rich city to beg, young man?"
Well, I mean, it wasn't at the tip of my priorities, but is that what you do around here? You people are beggars? Is this a city of beggars? And Vlad's gonna look him up and down. Does he have a coin purse on his hip or visible anywhere about?
Make a perception check.
All right. Oh wait, hold on. Let me get in the roll 20 then. So, all right.
Oh, just a aside while he's getting in here. Before I joined, I made a couple of con saves for Weiss. So you may have some episodes.
Yeah, we'll hop over to you in a second.
Yeah, I'll just
Alright.
let you know so it doesn't catch you out of left field.
Hey, I like things catching me out of left field. That's
Okay.
when I do my best. Vlad,
Alright.
you're looking at him and he's a fat man, but you notice that his left man boob is a little bit bigger than his right man boob, and that strikes you as odd. He might have something tucked away in there. You see, Bran, the young man next to him, he stops and looks at him and says, he stops and looks at you and says, "Hey, keep your eyes to yourself."
I'm just, trying to get a feel. He's a bit portly, and I wasn't sure if it was all him or not.
Did he
And,
just call me portly?
Vlad's gonna look and point over at just some random shop, and to try and get his attention. Well, I was thinking about begging over there, or perhaps rolling around in the mud over there. And when he looks on that second one, I'm going to spend some sorcery points to subtle cast Mage Hand, and I want to try and while he's distracted, use the Mage Hand to see if I can work.
Make a sleight of hand check with disadvantage.
Okay. 10.
As soon as the mage hand appears, the man, he turns and says, he looks and says, "Oh yes, that does look like a good pile of mud now, doesn't it?" And he's laughing to himself. The mage hand suddenly appears in the air and it creeps towards the man's shirt, but suddenly Bran, he comes over and grabs you by the wrist, and he kind of puts his face close up to yours, your left ear, and says, "I would not do that."
I have no clue what you're talking about, friend. This is very awkward. You just grabbed me out of nowhere.
He narrows his eyes and says, "I don't like magicians."
That sounds like a personal problem. Perhaps we can solve that at another time.
The secretary woman comes up beside him and says, "I think we should not start a fight right now."
Who said anything about fighting? I mean, look at me. Do I look like the type that would fighting? You guys are silly.
He turns back. "What is all this commotion about? Bran, unhand the beggar. You don't know where he's been."
Yeah, you don't know. I could have had war purpies on that hand. Oh, you got it now.
Bran steps back and wipes his hand on his tunic. "You there," he points a finger at you. "Don't try anything else."
I would never in a million years.
"What is your name, young beggar?"
It's Putin.
"Putin."
Yours?
"Ah. Put out."
Oh, you're funny. That was a great joke.
And then he starts laughing louder and louder, and the secretary next to him forces a laugh. Bran just kind of stares you down. "Tell you what, if you're hurting for gold, I'll let you have 5 pieces if you clean my ring for me." And he holds out his hand towards you.
Oh, that's a nice ring. I have one too. You like it? And I'll hold out mine, the ring of mine. I will give you 10 pieces of gold if you clean mine. And mine probably has some fucking gunky, disgusting shit all over it.
Probably still has piece of fucking dog on it from when you went out and tried to fucking fight him.
Probably does.
I didn't know you could fold shit into such a fashion. No, I think not.
20 pieces.
I've tarried long enough with this trash.
30 pieces, final offer. It looks like it would buy a better outfit than what you're wearing now.
I spend 30 pieces every time I take a shit.
Well, that's
Farewell, young
inefficient.
man.
Okay.
And he gives you a huffy sigh and fixes his robes and then turns and starts moving towards the third ring where the Duke's Keep is. Bran stays back for a moment and says, This city has a bad history with wizards and magicians. I would suggest you keep yourself to a minimum and leave as soon as possible.
No need to be threatening, friend. And Vlad's gonna say and like put his hands up. I'm just walking around doing beggar things.
Find a corner then. And he'll turn and start moving after the noble.
Alright. When they get a little bit good distance away, I'm gonna like jump into an alley before I lose sight. And then I'm gonna cast just the cantrip of minor illusion. Or you know what? No, I don't want to spend sorcery points, but it'd be hilarious. I'm gonna do a minor of illusion of one of my hellhounds, my shadow hounds. It's just gonna poof in a bunch, like a poof of smoke in front of them as they're walking, and then it's gonna leap into them and poof out of existence. I'm gonna do that.
You do, and the fat man,
illusion.
As soon as the hound appears, he gives a womanly shriek, and then it charges at him, and he flies backward and throws himself on the ground. The receptionist screams, and Bran he takes a combat stance, but then it disappears. And he stands back up and looks back, and you see him scanning the street for you with an angry look on his face.
I am in an alleyway, like ducked and.
He pulls the nobleman up and then ushers him towards the first ring, escorting him away.
And Vlad is going to move down this alleyway a bit and try and see if he can observe a way to get into the third ring without going through that gate.
Make a investigation check.
Alright. That's just +2. Nice! Nat 20 for a 22.
As you're doing this, you see an actual beggar. He's like a couple feet. You didn't even notice him before. He's just sitting there with a bottle of booze in his hands, and he's sitting against the wall. And he actually like poked his head out of the alley when you did this and watched the whole thing. And now he's just laughing his ass off. And he's just cackling. And then he pushes himself up and says, "Ha! That was great. How'd you do that?"
Pretty funny, right? Yeah, I could teach you if you you look like you know these streets. Might not know a better way to get into that there ring without being seen by them there guards, do you?
I do. It's not too hard either, if you're a sneaky type.
Oh, I am very, very sneaky. And then before his eyes, just a little sleight of hand trick. Vlad's gonna like make 2 gold coins. Not even an illusion. He just make 2 gold coins just floop in between 2 of his fingers, and then he's gonna like back away. They're gonna disappear again. Gotcha, bitch. Ha.
He kind of gives you a stray look, and he says, got bad feeling about you magic types. But
Oh, it's not magic. That's a inaccurate word for this. It's more of like an illusion.
yeah. Well, our last magister was fond of illusions too. And the more I hear about him, the less I like it. But no, I'll tell you just for the good show of it. If you go through the hotel, there's a restaurant there, and through the kitchens, they've got a tunnel leading directly through into the third ring.
That is very particular information, my friend. How did you come about that? Don't be cheeky now. And Vlad's just gonna like nudge him a bit.
Well, I'll tell you for 2 gold.
Oh, you have a deal. And Vlad's just gonna produce 2 gold again and clink clink.
He swipes them out of your hand and feels them a bit and says, "This isn't some kind of paint, is it?"
No, it's gold. I think that is part of the gold that I may have gotten from a dragon horde. Not sure yet. I have a lot of gold.
Yeah, right, I'm gonna believe that. But, alright. Well, I'll tell you. I used to work in the kitchens.
Oh. Very valuable information indeed.
He
How
grins
would
at
you
me.
like to be a richer man than you are now?
Working for you magic types.
Yeah, magic's magic. Let's just call it advanced relative theory understanding.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you want from me?
Simple. I'm going to give you a location and a time, and you will wait there, and perhaps at the end of it, you will be substantially rewarded.
You want me to help you break into a restaurant I got fired from?
No, I don't need help breaking in, my friend. That I can do alone. No place can hold me. It's more of I like to do things with flair sometimes, and when you do things in a flairful manner, you have to have people to observe, or else it's just boring.
Well, I did have uh, a lunch date with old Trash Man and the boys, but I suppose if you're willing to pay for it, we could have an audience for you.
Well, that would help, especially for what I plan to do. Let's say you give the trash man, this honorable trash man and his honorable boys, and meet me over there. Or, matter of fact, right here. Just make it easy.
Alright,
At
I'll do
about
that, but fair warning to you, traveler. There's a Mr. Bernard Tarrington who lives in this city, and if he finds out that you're a magic user, you might get the... And he might rub a thumb across your neck. Across his neck, I mean.
Oh, I assure you, I wouldn't want that, so I have the utmost secrecy. Tell me more about this Bernard Tarrington character. I don't think I've met him.
He's a funny type. Came in one day with a Brettonian and some other folk. And, well, he basically took over the city, or so I hear. Him and his friends took down Barsilius. Now he basically runs the market round here. He's got that mine to the south, makes him a very wealthy and powerful man.
Oh, interesting. This is definitely a guy I wouldn't want to be on the bad side of, it sounds like.
If you want to find some money, I hear they got mountains of gold and jewels in those mines.
I wouldn't exactly... See, I like the easy score. I don't want to go digging and fighting, and that's dirty work.
Right.
For me, it's easier to just wait for somebody else to do it and go take what they worked hard for.
Well, fine. If you think it's gonna be easy. Last fair warning, that officer you were picking a fight with, Bran, he doesn't like magic either. And he's a, what do you call it? Stick in the mud. I'd be careful
Oh.
around him.
Nobody likes sticks in the mud. They tend to stick out. Well, you meet me here with your friends at 10 o'clock at night, before midnight at least, and I will make it well worth your while.
Sure. You'll have an audience of dirty beggars.
Well, I was just accused of being one, so birds of a feather.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about that. Alright. Get going with you then. We'll be here.
Okay.
With that, we'll cut over to Weiss for a second. Weiss, you're walking through the streets. Siam is kind of next to you, and he hasn't said much as you're walking. He just kind of looking over the city with you.
Yeah, Vice is Well, he's looking to get a kind of a custom set of armor made for him. Something that he can something that has like a removable lining for cold weather.
Okay. Yeah, you see many mainstream tailor shops. Not in the first ring, but in the second ring, there's more of it. As you walk the main streets, you know, Siam. He's stayed for months in this city, so he can easily guide you to different shops
Yeah.
around there.
Specifically, like something that has like a dark metal or has been painted a darker color, so that it like he can maybe like in the nighttime or something not be spotted quite as easily.
If you
Some
don't,
kind of fur inlay so that it's removable, so that it's not fucking useless once we're out of the cold.
if you don't mind paying a pretty penny, in the third ring where the Duke is, they've got the ones that make the custom armor and the things for the nobles. That's probably your
Aye.
best bet for quality.
Well, that'll have to do then.
Hmm.
I'm not think gold's gonna do us much good from here on, so might as well get something good while we're back in civilization.
There's also Mephisto, but I don't think we should use him.
Weiss just shrugs. Well, I'll look around, wanting a cloak made too. Something better than this fits better. It's not bad, but
I'll show
don't
you
quite
the
like
way
having
then.
a tailor made.
I'll show you the way then. And Siam will lead you into the first ring. There's a bit of a commotion as you're passing through. Seems like some kind of thing has happened in the second ring streets, but you just kind of walk past it and head into the first ring. Siam shows up and the guards look him up and down and say, "Oh, I recognize your mask." And Siam just nods at him. "I'm taking a friend of mine. This is Weiss. He's going to go see a tailor. High quality price." And the guards just nod at him and open up the gates for him. As you go in, you can see that the military here has kind of become a bit more lax. Ships are actually coming in, and you can see standing among them there's an old, grim looking, or not old, but about middle-aged, 30-year-old grim looking man with a short mustache, and he's got very different armor than what most of them have, and he seems to be commanding a small group of soldiers as they make their way out of the ring and into the third ring where the harbor will be. Siam points him out and says, "That's Ray. We fought alongside him. Monsamard. I'm not sure if his statue is still up anymore in the harbor, but Monsamard put them together. Something like the Crucibles or something." Oh, you never met Monsamard, did you?
No, can't say I have.
Another old traveling friend of ours. Here's a tailor. I'll wait out here.
Alright. I'll go ahead and head in.
You go in, and there's a man with a short goatee. He's got an apron on, and he's bent over a small desk with scores of papers lining across it. He looks up and he says, "Oh, can I help you?"
Yeah, I think you can. Well, it's just a tailor.
"No, we have a blacksmith in the back as well. That's part of the building."
Good. Listen, I'm looking to get a custom set of armor made.
Hmm.
I want it,
Good.
I was gonna say, some kind of dark material. Make it harder to spot me. And a fur inlay that can be removed. We'll be traveling through the cold.
Now, do you want it sable, or could I recommend a darker blue if you're looking to go quietly in the night?
Your choice. Whatever you think will be better. And I wouldn't mind a cloak to fit me as well. I've got this one here, but ride's a little loose. Just got it from an armory.
He looks you up and down. "You don't look like a noble. Will you have the coin to pay?"
Of course I'll have the coin to pay. Wouldn't come here if I didn't. What's it gonna run me?
Let me take your measurements, and maybe we can hatch out some more details, and I can give you an estimate.
Very well.
You spend about 20 or 30 minutes. He's measuring you and asking you about, particulars. "I think, all things considered, a full set with a cloak, customized to your particulars, and maybe we can do something about that sword hanging off your back as well. Get that a better place to fit than just hanging there. How about 5,000?
Deal.
Yeah, that was fast.
Aye. Fair price. Though, I'm gonna need that armor to be solid, and my sheath for the sword, if you're gonna have one, to be flexible. I'm gonna need to draw the sword out quickly. Don't want it getting caught.
Of course. Would you be willing to leave the sword here for a day?
I'll give him an eye. And what's your security like? I paid a handsome price for this.
We're in the first ring, my friend. Nobody comes in here unless the Duke wills it.
I'll unsheath the sword and kind of stick the tip to the ground and kind of hold the sheath out to him before, when he goes to grab it, I'll grab his wrist with my metal arm and say, "But listen, if this goes missing, I'm gonna be very upset. I ain't trying to threaten you, but this is a good sword."
He kind of cowls at this, and then he nods a bit fearfully and says, "I promise that it will not leave this building so long as I'm here. All I need
Very well.
for is measurements and to do a bit of fitting for a sheath. It'll be fast, and, well, it'll be probably my best work."
Aye, that'll do then. Just wanted to be clear. That's a good sword you've got there.
I can see that, and then as he takes it, and then suddenly the weight of it just sends him falling backwards, and he sprawls on the ground with the sword on top of him. Oh my!
Here, I'll grab it. Where do you need it? For your measurements and the like?
Would you mind taking it out to the blacksmith in the back?
Sure.
Oh, my hip. You carry it outside, and you can see there's a dwarf. He's standing there, and he's just going at a piece of breastplate. He looks up at you and he says, "What the hell is that?"
Sword?
No, that's a slab.
You could call it that.
What a beauty.
Aye, apparently you're... I assume you're the blacksmith then? I'll kind of go over what I'm... Oh, go ahead.
Dogar's my name.
Aye, I'm Weiss. I'll kind of go over what I told the tailor in there and say, and, no rush or anything, but we're looking to get out of here pretty soon.
Well, you're getting a full set of armor is gonna take some time. I hope you're not trying to leave too fast.
Not too fast, but I'm not trying to rush you or anything. I want it to be quality, just higher priority than the others. If that'll cost anything, I'm willing to pay.
Higher priority. I don't like the nobles around here, but they give good money, and you're not the first to want the rush job. We'll call it... I can have a full plate cloak. Get this sheath ready for you. Be 4 days with an extra 250 on top.
250?
Aye.
That'll do.
Consider
Weiss
it a
will
rough
go-
job then.
Weiss will reach for his coin pouch and then hesitate and say, "Send the bill to Bernard Darrington."
He kind of stiffens at this. Why should I do that?
Well, I'm the one. I'm doing a job for him, so he can fit the bill.
My condolences.
Yeah, you could say that. Appreciated.
I'll send it down to the mines then. They're the ones that handle most of his finances when he's gone. Haven't seen him in some time. Good riddance.
Well, quality stuff then. You do good work.
You'll have what you need.
That's all I ask. Well, where do you need this? And I'll kinda shift the sword.
Lean it up against the wall right there. Should be fine. I'll get to it as soon as I'm done with this.
Well, here you are then. And I'll lean it up for him.
4 days time. See you then.
I'll be back. And I'll nod and leave.
Cyan's standing there with his arms crossed. Oh, it's good to be back in the city again after that nightmare in the north.
You're telling me. That was horrible.
Almost seems like a dream.
Something like that. Didn't think we'd be seeing something like this again. Not for some time. But, well, I suppose Pollock slipped up. Now we're here.
He certainly didn't expect you and Vlad.
No, I don't reckon he did.
Is there anything else you want to see? I can get us good rooms in the hotel so we can get away from Tarrington for the night at least.
Perhaps.
They have a restaurant. It's top notch.
Well, go there and eat dinner at least, and we'll see where the night takes us.
Heh. Drinks on me then.
Aye. And, we'll start heading that way, but, a few streets over, Weiss is probably... I rolled a nat 1 earlier, so Weiss is gonna probably get it pretty bad.
Yeah.
Weiss, as we're walking, and start having another coughing fit. This time it's like taking the breath out of me. He's leaning against a wall, sliding down to his knees, coughing up blood probably.
You cough up blood, and then you also cough up this black purplish bile. Your eyes go... They dilate, and you just begin sweating. Sweat begins pouring out from your forehead all of a sudden. You have to catch yourself, and Siam kind of takes you by the arm, and he says, Weiss, what is this?
I don't know.
Damn it. Fucking Bernard. Alright, hold on. I'll see if I can get some water or something.
Yeah, he's wheezing for air at this point.
Siam ducks out of the alley, and he moves off. And not a minute later, you hear a voice coming from the alley. Oh, now what is this?
Who are you?
You look up and you see this tall, skinny, pale man. He's got long blue and red hair. For a moment, with your blurred vision, you almost think it's Pollux that's shown back up again, but your focus in this... Actually, it's not Pollux. He just comes forward and he kneels down in front of you, and he runs a finger against the black bile that you're spitting up and kind of looks at it between his fingers. This is awful.
What do you want?
Well, I sensed you. I thought you were Bernard. Who are you?
What's it to you?
Come now. He reaches back and he pulls off a lamp from the back of his belt. He slides open the shutter and he points it towards your face and says, "Look at it. Come on, look."
What are you doing to me?
Maybe I'm going to help you. Or maybe not. Who cares?
If you were looking for Bernard, I don't know if I want your help.
I don't think you have much of a choice right now. How much time do you think you have left?
What is it? What are you doing?
I'm going to take some of the infection from you. It's not for charity, mind you, and I'm not doing it to help you. But it's interesting and maybe I could use it.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Another chaos boy.
Maybe. But is that really so different? You're going to become one of them too pretty soon.
Weiss is gonna try and stand.
As you try to stand, you hear the shutter close back on the lamp and he hangs it back up on his belt. More's the pity. Tell you what, he hands you a card with an address on it. If you want to live for a little bit longer, come find me. Mephisto's Tailory. I'll see you there, darling. He kind of brushes your hair with his hands, and then steps back, turns and leaves.
Weiss is going to try to walk a little ways and then just slide down the wall and sit for a moment trying to catch himself.
Yeah, Vice, you fade in and out of consciousness as Siam, you see his boots coming back to your side, and he kneels down. Here, drink this. You can. It's water and mixed with some kind of wine. Life kind of flows back into your limbs, and you start focusing, but your lungs are burning, your head's pounding, and every now and then you see shadows out of the corner of your eyes, like moving figures, eyes in the darkness, red, peering eyes coming out of cracks in the walls, hands.
I'll take a drink and say, Alright.
When we get back, I'm gonna have words with Bernard. This can't go on anymore. He's killing you.
I don't suppose there are any kind of healers, are there?
Bernard just... he shakes his head towards you.
I didn't think so. Come on. I'll push myself up. Anyways.
The hotel's not far from here. Give me your shoulder.
Yeah, let's go.
He'll kind of support you as you move out of the alley and start heading towards the hotel as the sun begins to die down.
Vlad will step out of the shadow in that alley that they were standing in, and he'll look towards the direction that Mephisto went. Very interesting. Seems a lot happens in the alleys around here. And he'll kind of step back into the shadows and go a bit down the alley towards the direction of Mephisto. And he's not going to engage Mephisto. He's following Mephisto right now.
Vlad, as you're following behind Mephisto, you can see hanging down, dangling from his belt behind him. He's got a lamp, but it's not lit and it's not giving off any source of light. It's intricately carved, and you can see now he's got a mixture of red and blue hair that kind of intertwines with bits of pink streaming down it. Again, it's very similar to Pollux's type of hair, but it's shorter and tied up in a ponytail. He's got creases in his face from some kind of prior illness, but he's spry now, and he's walking and smiling and humming a tune. He gets many waves and smiles and nods from some of the richer people that you pass by, and you can see that he seems to be well known. He leaves and passes into the first ring, and you can see him duck into an alley and moving back and forth. He weaves in and out of alleyways, and you see that the alleys and buildings make up this kind of maze in the first ring. It's disorienting, but eventually you find a stairway in an alley that is made of stone, built into the side of a building that runs down into a kind of basement. Atop it, you see Mephisto's tailory in a small sign, and he cracks open the door and slides himself in, and you can see now open, hanging from the window.
Interesting. Vlad's gonna kind of step out of the shadow that he was hiding in. Perhaps I will give this a look tonight instead. And yeah, Vlad's gonna... he's now changed his plans. Poor hobo man. Oh.
Meanwhile, Trash Man and the hobos are sitting around. Why did you bring me out here? It's this guy. He wanted to see... I don't give a fuck. I was drinking. You think I get many vacations from Bernard's Tavern? And the man's like, I'm sorry. You're a failure of a hobo. I'm going back to the tavern. Fuck you. And he waves a big middle finger in his face. Anyway, sorry. What were you saying?
Yeah, Vlad's kind of he's gonna hang out outside this shop now. Actually, Vlad is going to. I don't climb shit. Fuck that. I am going to. I have is my shadows in Dimension Door. All right, I'm going to wait till the sun goes down. From the safety of the shadows in the alleyway, overlooking the main. I want to keep an eye on his main entrance. So could I roll stealth on that? Because excuse me,
Yeah,
I want to stay as hidden as I can.
You can roll stealth.
Oof. 13.
Okay. Vlad, you sit in the shadows and you watch the main entrance. It seems like this place is very busy, kind of too busy. A lot of people come in and out, and sometimes you see people that come out that definitely didn't go in anytime soon. Like people that have come out that you haven't even seen in all your time watching. They come out with smiles on their faces, whistling a tune. Sometimes couples, you see a few rich nobles coming out. You see women and men alike streaming in and out of this building. Nothing happens to you, though, as you watch this.
Interesting. This is a very curious location. Vlad is now curious. It's fucking befuddling. How are they leaving if they aren't going in? He is going to climb up to get onto the roof of that particular building that it's the basement is underneath, and he's gonna just walk around the periphery of the roof and look down to see if he could see any other entrances that others might be using.
No. There seems to be only one entrance into Mephisto's tailory, and it's this stairway into a basement.
Okay. Yeah, Vlad's going to continue to sit and wait until it's about midnight. He's going to sit, wait, watch, and observe the traffic going in and out of that stairwell, or that stairway down into Mephisto's business.
Alright. The one thing that catches your eye is that the open sign stays open throughout the night. Doesn't close when all their shops do. This kind of constant stream in and out just continues for the night.
Yeah, around midnight, Vlad is going to get curious, and he'll walk down the stairs and open the door. Yeah, he'll open the door and
Make
take
an
a peek
Arcana
inside.
check.
All right. 10.
Something about this place makes your skin crawl. It's not. That's just it. Makes your skin kind of crawl. As soon as you open the door, it's like a smell. It's pleasant, but it's almost overbearing.
Alright.
Mephisto turns, and you can see him sitting over a desk, and he's writing out some plans or something. And he looks up and says, "Ah, a new customer. Hello. Welcome, darling. Do you need clothes?"
Yeah, something like that. Hey, I heard this place was the spot to come, if you know what I mean. And Vlad's gonna look at him and raise an eyebrow.
Is that so? And he stands up from his desk and comes over. He kind of looks you over in a kind of uncomfortable way, looking you up and down. Is there something in particular you're looking for? Or have you come to join the guests?
Yes, curious. I want to see what the bother is about.
Now,
Vlad's getting pegged.
Shit.
hold on. Roll for pegging.
Oh no, no.
Oh.
Oh,
All right.
that's no, no.
14
Dude.
inches.
No. My AC is 16. No penetration.
Damn.
Yeah.
Didn't pace his ass class.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, but what's your unarmored AC?
Oh, who said I was unarmored?
You will be when the pegging starts.
Oh.
Oh god, I forgot what he was asking you.
My bad.
I'm gonna go down and see where all these fucking people are
Well,
coming
he
from.
stops you and he says, well, before you go down that door, I'm gonna need you to sign a contract.
I can't do that, I'm
I'm
afraid.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. Contracts are fun, aren't they?
I don't like contracts.
All you have to do is make a promise. What you see down there stays down there. Alright?
Well, I mean,
If you go
They don't-
blabbing, then I'm gonna have to put you on my lamp. And he kind of pats his lamp that's sitting on a desk nearby.
yeah, my lips are sealed.
Not for long, dear. Go ahead.
Very well. And Vlad's gonna like cautiously go through the door.
Yeah. It reminds you of a stone dungeon stairwell.
He's not going in all the way. Before he goes through all the way, you know what? Never mind. Yeah, Vlad's gonna go down and check it out.
Alright. Without too much detail, you've got the main room, which is where most of the guests hang out, smoking hookahs and not using clothing. And then you have the back rooms where occasionally you hear pleasurable moans and the occasional scream, but nobody seems to mind. You see things that you probably didn't want to see or never expected to see or maybe not want to see again, or I don't know how Vlad is, how it is.
Yeah, Vlad is taken aback by all this. Whoa, this was. Whoa, those two over. Whoa, whoa.
Is this to your liking? You hear a voice
How-
coming from behind you.
How did he fit? Oh, what? And then Vlad's gonna like. I guess I'm not sure how to feel right now. Honestly, it's a little overwhelming. I was expecting it to be, you know, onesies, twosies laid about here and there, but this room is. The smell is.
Most people, when they come here, are a bit shy. Trust me, when you start smoking and drinking and getting to know the patrons, they're actually good people. They just come here to blow off some steam.
It looks like they're blowing off more than some steam.
I like you. What's your name?
My name is Scar. What's yours?
Oh, well, if we're giving fake names, then mine is Jolly Roger.
No, my name is Scar. I was born with this mark right here. And Vlad's gonna point up at his face, and as he wipes his finger across this one spot where he just points, a scar appears. The marking of a scar, at least,
Oh.
right next to his eye, like a crescent moon. I mean, I'm gonna use minor illusion and subtle spell for that.
He cocks his head at you. You can make a sleight of hand check.
All right. Plus 8. 24.
Right, so you do that, and then Mephisto, like, he kind of squints his eyes and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. There's so much
Yeah.
smoke in here, I didn't see." Well, if Scar is your nickname, then that's what it'll go by. I'm Mephisto, obviously, if you can tell by the sign.
Yeah, you
Vlad,
look like the type to be into that.
you look around, you can see the fat noble from before. Bare naked, smoking a hookah, surrounded by two women. And he's like lounging up against a couch in the corner of the room.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't notice you, and Mephisto just crosses his arms and says, "So, Mr. Scar, what brings you to our city? Here, come. Actually, let me sit you with some guests, and we can sit and smoke about it."
No, thank you. I prefer to just observe. I'm more keen on watching than participating,
Ugh.
if you know what I mean.
You shy types are so boring.
Never said I was shy. This is kind of how I get my own juices flowing.
Understandable.
Oh, no. No.
So then, is there something you want to talk about, or should I just leave you to it?
Mm, eh, perhaps I shall find you when I feel ready to participate.
Okay.
And Vlad's gonna kind of just wander off to a corner.
Be careful about the back rooms, darling. They're a bit more aggressive back there.
I understand. And Vlad is thinking, what the fuck have I gotten myself into?
You see Mephisto just climb back up the steps, and you're left there. So,
Vlad has ended up in the sex dungeon.
memories.
This room is like dark and dingy, right? So it's like fucking 90% shadows, correct?
Yeah, there's like
Oh.
candles and torches and ambient light around. It's more pink than dark, but you know it's got that nightclub kind of feel to it.
Yeah. Vlad will do his best to stick to the shadows, if you know what I mean.
We'll come back and visit you later, Vlad.
Yeah, once I think of how I'm gonna get out of this pegging.
I was very tempted to do something like, yeah, maybe Bernard's going to pay Mephisto a visit. Then I'm like, no, I don't want to bail him out of this. I want him to sit there. You will carry that burden.
You're gonna carry that weight.
That's your cross to bear.
Oh shit.
Well, we'll come back and visit Vlad in an hour or two.
Oh boy.
We'll rewind a little bit. Siam and Weiss are sitting in the restaurant of the hotel. It's the Lavish. It's kind of an offshoot of the first floor. It's got chandeliers hanging down from it, fancy dining tables, and waiters with, curly mustaches come out and wait on you. Siam sits across from you, and you look and you can see, after a few minutes, Renee will come in, and Siam waves her over and joins you. Oh, I thought you'd be here. Yeah, well, the food's best here, and, well, kind of brings back memories, doesn't it? Yes, it actually does. Siam will look over to you. So, Weiss, how are you feeling now?
I'm doing better.
He kind of... He's struggling with himself to think of the words, and then he says, Weiss, you gotta do something about that. You know it's
I do.
Bernard. He's doing that to you. It's some kind of sickness. It's that infection. He's like infected your body.
And what can I do?
I don't know. If I knew, well, I don't know if I'd be here. Renee kind of eyes him. Siam, you should stop pushing him. I'm not pushing him, I'm trying to get him to help. I'm trying to get help. And Renee says, I'm not talking about Weiss. Oh. Well, it's easy for you to say. You're a dark elf, you don't care. All kind of atrocities is just normal for you, isn't it? It's not fair. All the same. He's gonna get you killed one day, Renee. She just looks away and shrugs at this.
Weiss will take a drink and stand up and say, I'm gonna get some air. I'll be back in a minute.
They nod to you and then go back to their conversation.
Yeah, Weiss is gonna wander the streets for a little while, kind of reflecting on his life and his life choices that have led him to this moment. And eventually, he's going to keep his eye out for a church.
A church.
Yep.
Well, there are... Probably not in the second ring. In the first ring, there are minor little chapels and shrines, but there is a third, in the third ring, on an offshoot of the Duke's Keep. It through a garden with trees and shrubs and multicolored flowers that line a path of stone. It leads up to an oracle type looking building, multi-pillared and domed at the top. And as you go in, you can see there's a stream of cold water flowing out of a statue. Seems to be some kind of woman or something. You don't know. You don't know the religions of this land.
Do there seem to be any patrons in there right now, or is Weiss seemingly alone?
No, it's about 10:30 or 11. Nobody's out. Or approaching
Weiss
midnight, more
is,
like.
just gonna find himself in a pew and sit and reflect for a while. Unless one of the,
Nobody really is gonna bother you while you're in
yeah, I
here.
didn't know if there was any like I don't remember what you call them.
Guards.
Not guards, more like monks or priests or priestesses around that might try to talk to him or anything.
You
But
do
if not,
occasionally see a few robed people kind of passing in and out of the area. Is that something like? Are you looking up at them, or are you trying
he'll
to get their
glance
attention?
at them as they walk by. He's mostly reflecting, unless one of them sits down to talk to him. He's probably not going to reach out to anybody.
Well, I'm God. Why not?
Yeah, that's up to you.
Weiss, as you sit and reflect, it takes you 30 or 45 minutes as you're kind of just sitting here reflecting. Eventually, an old, aged man, he is tending to some flowers nearby, and he's walking through the gardens. He's not really wearing any robes or anything, not like the other people that are passing through. Instead, he kind of comes off the street and comes in with you, like 45 minutes after you, and he sits at a pew across from you, across from the stone path. And he sits there and he bows his head and mutters a few words and sits quietly.
Blood for the blood god.
Yeah, Weiss won't. He's not going to interrupt him. Like I said, he's just kind of reflecting at the moment.
You sit together silently for about another 15 minutes. And then he looks over at you and you can feel his eyes kind of reading you, and he says, "Are you sick?" You
Well,
look sick.
it would appear that way, brother.
Dying. Trying to find mercy for your soul then, are you?
I don't know. I ain't never. All these years of fighting and doing what I do, I ain't really never believed in nothing, you know?
Can't blame you. What's there to believe in this world?
Yeah.
Gods that don't give a fuck about you. Nobody gives a fuck about nobody in this city. It's all, give me this and kill that and power, power, power. It's all just a big game. And I've heard what those gods do to you. Apparently this god here is just some woman who did some nice thing a couple years back, and then, oh, now they worship her like she's gonna make something out of you when you die. Bunch of bullshit.
Brings you here then?
Makes me think. Well, makes me think that there is some kind of something. But then I leave here and I remember it's nothing like that. Not here.
Maybe.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Having a god you could pray to that actually cares, that actually has some kind of afterlife for you when you die if you live a good life. They say Sigmar does that, but last I heard, Sigmar threw himself into a portal and now he's with all the other gods in some fucked up place. Now we're all gonna end up like that.
Maybe they would have kept me off of my path, told me to be a farmer or something.
What are you, a soldier?
Sell sword. That's how I got sick, you know. Took a job killing a man, and it got me sick. Cut my arm off, and the arm I was offered's killing me.
I'm not sure I follow, but it sounds like a pain in the ass. Why don't you take the arm off? Live without it.
What do I do? All I know how to do is fight.
Well, start a farm. Don't gotta know nothing to be a farmer.
Well, I don't think there's much time left for that. Not in me.
So, what then? Just gonna die and that's it?
I don't know.
You sound like the kind of wishy-washy type. Why don't you pick a goal and stick to it? You got some time left. Do something. Do more than I did. I sat around here for 20 years. I used to be a soldier too.
Is that right?
Well, more like a backline man. I never actually saw no combat. One day, we were marching through, over in the border prince lands, and then a cannonball ripped through the ranks, tore up all my friends, ripped through me a good bit. Now I sit around here and drink. Come see the pretty statue.
Sorry to hear that, brother. I had a wife once. She left me. I had a son. He died. Following in my footsteps. Wasn't too great of a dad.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I never got the chance to bury a son. Never had one.
Well. Suppose. Well. Suppose it's better than burying one. Yeah. Perspective, I guess.
You sit in silence for a couple of minutes. And then he stands up and brushes himself off and says, I wish I had answers for you. I wish I could help you in some way. But here's the god-awful truth. Ain't nobody gonna be able to help you. Nobody. Ain't those kind of people in the world. So, make your peace. I wish you well.
Yeah, you too.
Just don't get your hopes up. Pats you on the shoulder and leaves.
Yep, Weiss is gonna sit in silence for quite a while. Probably around 2:30 in the morning, he'll stand and he can wander in the city a little longer.
Bernard, he's approaching. About 10 minutes off the shore to the left side of, or I should say the east side of Barboza along the shore.
Is he traveling by ocean?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I'll make my way to the docks. Actually, he's looking for me. Fuck this. Fuck the city. You remember where that dark elf camp used to be, where we trapped the doctor at?
Near the forest?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go wait there.
So you do. If you keep the shoreline in sight, as you sense him, his power seems to have changed somehow. He feels different than the last time. And you can also sense Lane in tow.
Before I leave, though, I'm gonna tell Hjalmar what's up. Just so he knows.
Alright. Yeah, Yelmar is right now. He's after leaving the spot of Despair's grave, or at least the grave site where she washed up. He's gonna start flying back towards Blackfire Pass. He still has that going on too. So he'll be like mid-flight.
Okay.
I'll contact Hjalmar, and it's gonna be very brief. Bernard's just gonna say, "Hey, you never met him, but a man once kidnapped Lane. Do you remember her?
Yes, I remember her.
He's in sort of a floating city called the Pantagruel that has hordes of dark elves. And he's currently coming for a meeting with me. I'm not entirely sure what he wants. I don't particularly believe it's going to end in violence, but be sure to keep an eye out just in case."
I will deviate my course. I'll fly overhead soon.
Just keep an eye out.
Yeah, with that, Yalmar will, because right now it's like kind of nighttime-esque, right?
Yeah, it's about 2 in the morning.
Yeah, Yalmar's been flying for a few hours now. He'll deviate and towards the mountain. He'll kind of circle the mountain a bit,
Alright.
and he'll lock onto Bernard's presence.
Yeah, if you try Yalmar, you can definitely sense Deus as well. His power is... He feels a lot like Bernard, and in close proximity it's almost like there's 2 of them. But
Yeah.
the other one feels somehow less solid, more separate. I'm not really trying to describe it. It's a very
If this
strange
is
feeling.
If this is a power level that's comparable to Bernard's, then yes, that has now instantly grabbed Yalmar's attention, and he's going to be the silent observer from the clouds.
Right. Bernard, as you sit watching the shoreline from the forest, you don't see the Pantagruel. Instead, far out over the horizon, you can feel an increase of Deus's power slightly. And as you watch, you slowly see a figure rise up out of the horizon. He's holding a limp body in his left hand, and he's floating through the air towards the shoreline. Eventually, he sits down on the beach, and the limp body kind of just hangs down limply onto the floor from his hand, and he stands there.
Neat trick you've acquired. I know someone else who knows that trick now, too.
Deus, he's got his mask on. You can see he's added a few hoses that stretch down and reach. They kind of curl into his robes and his armor. The eyes kind of just glow a pale red. In his hands, as you look, you can see the body of Lane. She seems to be slightly breathing, but her hair used to be blonde, is turned a pitch white, and her skin is a bit more pale than it was. Hello, Tarrington. How are you doing on this fine night?
Just wonderful. And to what do I owe the pleasure of your arrival?
I've come to give this back. And with
so
that,
soon.
he waves he kind of pulls back his arm that's holding Lane, and then he tosses her. He throws her at you. She's kind of soars through the air and almost collides with you, but she lands in the dirt in front of you, does a few tumbles, and then drops, and you can see her eyes are closed and her breathing is shallow and labored. You can see her hair is turned in this pitch, like absolute pure white, and her skin is her skin is white and she's lost some weight.
Bernard keeps a strictly emotionless face as he looks to Deus and asks, "So, what is it you did to her? Interesting means of training you had."
Well, I thought it would take you too long, your way. You're a bit soft, aren't you now? You could have unlocked her power in no time at all. Instead, you chose to wait. We don't have that kind of time, my friend.
Of course we don't. But have you considered that I was planning for the long term? That I was planning for something beyond this?
You think so little of me that I don't? No. She's going to be very useful to us from now on. Both of us.
Is that so?
Indeed. And actually, if I can be a bit selfish, I wanted to know what you'd do.
In
He
what
reaches
regard?
up. He reaches up and he pulls on his mask, and you can see steam erupting from the sides of it. He lowers it down. Bernard, you see through illusions, so at first you see his whole face. It's probably the first time you've seen it. He's actually a fairly good-looking, seems to be a young man, but his hair is white. And it hangs down in strands over his right eye. You see his full face for a moment, but then as your eyes focus and the illusion dispels, the left side of his entire face is instead, it seems to be this kind of see-through shadow, this formless thing, just a mass of shadow, kind of just lingering on the left side of his head.
A mutation?
Close. I would call it an infection.
In what regard?
We took very different means of study, you and I. You sought complete domination, to control, to have every facet under your thumb. I don't like that. I prefer the unique things in life. I like seeing what results from my actions, and I like to play with odds. I put half of my being into your little girl there. She and I are one now, and her power has grown immensely, just like you wanted. Of course, it's no small thing to put half of myself into another, but I think it'll pay off in the very end. I
So
wanted
what
to know
does
what.
that mean for you?
Well, first I wanted to know what you'd do. What do you think of me, Mr. Tarrington? Do you hate me? Now that you have your little girl back, will you ignore it? That part of me is inside, watching, learning. Will you treat her as the daughter you wish you had?
Sorry, go on.
You're funny. I think it's amusing as well. What will you do? Will you instead throw her into some dark corner, bind her eyes and her hands, never let her see the sunlight? Will you kill her? Will you try to kill the half of me inside of her? Will you try to take it from her? These things are greatly interesting to me. To see what you do, to see what little strands of humanity you may have left that you so wish to deny. Have you given up trying to play father? Something tells me you haven't.
Watching and learning, huh? So what does that supposed to mean? Is some semblance of your consciousness waiting inside to spring up and strike me down while my back is turned?
No. Mr. Tarrington, do you like prophecies? I have a prophecy for you.
Is that so? I'll humor it.
You and I will be the two to leave this land. We will see what lies beyond the distant shores together. You think that Zinch is a being of control? No. He is a being of infection. He latches on. He's going to latch on and see this new world with us. We are but his fingers. That girl you have there, now that she has a part of me inside her, she's going to be very useful. She's going to see us to this new world. I put much hope in her. You and I don't need to be enemies. Or
Well, that's what I said from the start.
just
That's
nods.
what I've told several people from the start, but no one seems to quite get it across.
Well, that's because all we do is make enemies. We are the enemy. I leave the girl in your care for now. When the end comes, she'll serve her purpose as she was made to. I hope you get what you want from her as well. And like I said, I'm very interested to know what still sleeps inside you, Mr. Tarrington. What will you do? That's all. Have you
We
something to
shall
say to me before the end?
Didn't bring your elf friend along.
He's
Where
out
are
there.
your elves, by the way?
He's-
Pantagruel.
He waves a hand out to the ocean. It's out there. I didn't think I'd need it. He kind of looks back at you. What? Are you going to attack me?
I just shrug. I was just curious.
You may be interested to know that the Witch King's citadel is no more. We've been quite busy, me and Blood. Not to say that the
Interesting.
Dark Elves have fallen. Their squabbling in their nation has become chaotic. If you're ever in the area, stop by and see. The Pantagruel is stronger than any magic. Even his. And he kind of looks up at the sky, looking into the clouds.
Yeah, where he's looking, it just looks like the clouds are on the cusp of forming into just a fucking tumultuous storm.
That's
Yeah,
all.
Yalmar's just observing.
If ever we are going to fight, Bernard, let it be on the new shores, in the new world. In this world, we have nothing but common goals.
What do you intend to stop me when I go over there?
Only if you get in my way.
And what is your goal?
To infect.
Well, I suppose we shall have to see what happens. As long as your goals don't overlap mine and impede me, then I don't suppose we'll have any need to squabble.
No, I don't think we will. And he lifts off the ground slightly, looks up at the sky again, and then he slowly begins crossing over the ocean, floating silently, staring. He fits the mask back over his face and floats away.
Yeah, as he floats away, Yalmar will descend downwards from the clouds.
Do you see what I've been dealing with since you've been gone?
Indeed. So this is the force that was felt on that day in Altdorf, then.
Yes.
What is it?
Well, another one of Balthazar Gelt's creations.
Terrific. Is he on the side of Gelt?
Absolutely not. He's on the side of himself, I do believe.
Good. Means he won't be in the way.
We don't know that for certain yet.
Yalmar's gonna drift his gaze over to Lane. What have you done to that girl, Bernard?
I didn't do anything. Weren't you listening? He did it. Well, yes. I suppose you couldn't. Half of his body, his face was shadow. He put his own essence into her.
Yalmar's gonna... Is she just laying there on the ground?
Well, as you're talking, her eyes slowly flicker open. And her head's like kind of just lolling back and forth, and then it turns and looks to the both of you.
Yalmar will kneel down over her. Girl, are you different now? Do you remember who I am?
Bernard. Mr. Tarrington.
Well, I'll pick her up. Suppose we should get back to the inn. So, what exactly did he do to you, wonder?
I would keep her guarded well, Bernard. Nowhere near your most prized secrets. She's been infected. Like he said, his goal is to infect.
Indeed. Well, we'll have to see what happens. Seems I have a new array of goals in mind now.
Be safe, Bernard. And as Yalmar says that, he is going to stand and slowly drift. I shall meet you in Altdorf. Signal me when you are ready.
Of course. I'll, head back to the inn, I suppose.
And once again, Yalmar will take off towards Blackfire Pass. And wait for Thark.
So you do. Bernard, you carry the unconscious Lane. She drifts in and out of consciousness. Her breath is labored and battered. Her skin is cold to the touch, and as you can see, her eyes have changed color from what used to be blue to a light purple. Alright. With that, is there anything else you guys would like to take care of?
Yes. I know what I'm going to do with Vlad. How I shall attempt to handle this.
Yeah, Vlad, you're accosted by propositions, men and women alike, and you swear that the fat man keeps kind of glancing over at you, but he tries to ignore you.
And Vlad is still clothed. He's
smoke
still
in
very
the
much
air,
clothed.
The smoke in the air makes you lightheaded and dizzy, and a bit intoxicated. People keep offering you drinks and trying to talk to you.
Yeah, that's enough at this place. Vlad is going to head towards the stairwell to climb back up. But before he does, I'm going to try and be sneaky about it.
Alright, make a stealth check.
Oh, yes! 23. I'm not going to, so this is going to be very particular. I'm not going to step out into Mephisto's main room. Instead, I'm going to walk up part way, and I'm going to cast Minor Illusion. And the illusion that I'm going to create... I want to get into a position where I can sort of peek into the main storefront, I guess you could say. Is there a... He's still in there?
Yeah, he's kind of just sitting. He goes back and forth between drawing up plans and working on clothes.
Is that lamp still sitting on the table, though?
It's sitting near him
Near him.
on a desk.
Alright, so minor illusion. Through the door, a visage of what do I want to pick? Just a gnarly banshee-like spirit is just gonna float through the door, and it's gonna turn and just raise its hand towards Mephisto, and I will spend 1 sorcery point to create my darkness. And what I'm going to do is it's going to originate from this illusion's hand, and it will encompass the whole entire room. And the illusion is going... Well, can these things make sound? I don't think they can. Oh, it does. Visible and audible. It's going to just start, like, screeching in a, like, demonic voice. And it's going to just sound like fervent chanting. But really, it's just the Russian national anthem. But it's just demonic sounding. And, and Vlad is going to... yeah. And Vlad is going... As the darkness... like goes into the room, Vlad's going to slip into the darkness. I can see through my own darkness, and I'm going to sneak my way through it, and I'm going to reach up and grab the lantern off. And the way I'm hoping is the darkness. It's 15-foot radius, so I'm hoping it'll stretch the door at least. I mean, if it doesn't, it's not like Mephisto can see. Hopefully.
All right. Make a charisma saving throw.
All right. I am excellent at those.
Don't say that.
18.
Yeah, alright.
And with that, I'm going to, as Vlad's gonna not even, he's gonna like rush across the room as fast as he can. And, he's gonna grab the lantern and then just fucking book it out of Mephisto's place. And now it's fucking dark outside. Vlad will stick to the alleys, to the shadows, all that stuff, and he's gonna go to the hotel, but he's not gonna go into the hotel. He's gonna like as far as he can up the side. I mean, I can shadow hop 150 feet. So
all right. So in a blink, before you even hear any kind of reaction from Mephisto, you cause the illusion. You darken the room and you leap across the room, grabbing the lantern. As soon as you do, you get very brief visions of something, some kind of thing, but they're so fast, and then you can't even really make out what they were. You pick up the lantern, and it is kind of heavy in your hands, and then you just dart out of the door, and you hear this voice like, To
end the illusion, as I get further away, the darkness will like sort of like absorb right back into the hand, and then it will look at Mephisto, and its eyes will just start tearing in blood, and then it will just scream and go at him, and then just like dissipate right as it looks like it's about to like go into his body.
Okay, so you hear the commotion as you dart out of the room. As soon as you're in the alleys, you just rush away, I suppose, back to the hotel.
Yeah, I'm staying outside of it, and I'm going to see if I can get onto the roof of it.
By shadow hopping, I mean it's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's very slow going. I mean, it's a very tall hotel,
Yeah.
so I mean it takes you like a bunch of hops to get up there, but eventually you're at the very top floor, holding your prize.
Yeah, I'll look up to the sky and I'll see some lightning up in the clouds. Oh, that looks. Even the weather is unfavorable tonight.
You know what's funny?
All of this.
Weiss, after some reflection, was about to go to Mephisto.
So as Vlad is busting out the door, Weiss, you
This
kind of
was
like
probably like closer to dawn because Vice took a long fucking time to reflect on this.
Yeah, he probably only stayed in that awkward fucking sex dungeon for 30 to 45 minutes.
All right,
maximum.
fair enough. So you don't see each other as you go, but Weiss, you eventually make it towards Mephisto's, and you see a lot of people are kind of streaming out before the sun comes up. Like a lot of people. It doesn't really make any sense. And you kind of just, as they all stream out, the last person comes out, and then the door is just kind of hanging open.
Vice is just gonna go in and find a seat and just look at Mephisto's eyes sunken, both from lack of sleep and the sickness, before saying, "What is it you're gonna do to me?"
Well, I had a bit of an issue. Do you know anybody named Scar?
No.
Oh, he's a funny-looking guy with a funny accent.
Describes quite a few people, to be fair.
Okay. Well, I was going to try to help you, but it seems my lamp has been taken by demonic forces. Pure evil. I'm startled, to say the least.
It doesn't surprise me. Oh, I'll push myself out of the chair. Seems like the universe is out to get me then. More demonic forces getting in my way. Doesn't surprise me in the least.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I would help you. Tell you what, if you're out there, and he gives a description of Vlad. If you see that guy, could you try to get my lamp back? I'll pay for it. It's kind of important, and he really, really shouldn't be having it.
And what is it that lamp does?
Lots of things. Lots of things.
It's very vague.
Well, the light of it, if you use it right, can dispel spirits. And that's just one use of it. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's very important. So, you know, if you see it, just get it back for me. I'm gonna have to go talk to somebody about that.
I'll keep an eye out then. Weiss'll head
Um,
back out. Oh,
Are you... Do you know Bernard?
yeah. You could say we're acquainted.
Oh. Well, that kind of explains a few things. I'm gonna be talking to him pretty soon. Just, get better. And he smiled at you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Weiss will leave.
Oh man.
Yeah, Weiss heads right back to the hotel and finds a room.
Yeah, Cyan will get everybody rooms if they want them. And, that's 8:55, so we're at Ellis's cutoff point now, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good session. Very interesting session.
Oh man, I was gonna try to do that from the beginning, but Mephisto noticed me as soon as I walked in.
Vlad,
So
that lamp. Be very careful with it.
he saw Mephisto pull it out and point it at Weiss, somebody who Vlad has now been saved by, and you know, Vlad's concerned about Weiss's condition, and he
Sure.
was in the shadows and heard that. So that lamp
Just
now.
be careful with it. Well, that's all I'm saying.
Oh. I was just gonna go and try and terrorize some nobles tonight, but
Yeah.
oh man, always stealing high value magic items.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Actually, just to retcon something, Vice probably isn't going to sleep. He's probably just gonna grab a beer and sit on the street for a while.
Yeah, you see the troop of homeless people with trash man at their head. They're singing and dancing, like just making a ruckus. They pass by you. That's a thing.
Oh man. Now to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good old Barboza.
Oh shit. Yeah. That's fun. This is going to be great. This is okay. This is all-
Seriously, be careful with that. That's not a thing you're supposed to have, okay?
I noticed.
It's really not.
Oh. Well, my Banshee illusion sort of semi-worked.
Hey, Mephisto has a unique thing. It's my unique thing now. He doesn't get to have anything.
I have a kleptomaniac character, okay?
I
What do you
know.
expect?
If I didn't know that, I wouldn't fucking let you have this shit.
I'd steal with the fucking longhouse if I could.
Turn it into the beach house.
The fucking... the squat house. Only people who wear Adidas tracksuits are allowed in.
Heels on the floor.
Heels on the floor, you fucking Western spy.
Fucking-
Ugh,
Ugh, Jesus
fuck.
Christ.
I didn't want to steal it, but I did.
Yeah, you did. You knew you didn't want to steal, you fucking...
I did it for a good reason. I'm gonna eliminate the fucking soul-consuming plague inside Vice.
Like we go back and
You're
forth.
gonna rip my soul out of me.
We go back and
Got it.
forth like fucking drama humor.
Yeah, but which is this situation, huh?
That's up to you, my friend.
Great.
It was humor. How far do you want to push it? You know what's
We'll
always a good
see.
idea? Fuck with magic items you don't know how to use.
We'll see what Vlad's new buddy who knows magic has to weigh in on this situation.
Is that Bernard? You're gonna give the
Yeah.
lamp to Bernard? That's a little fucked.
Okay, but let's think about this for a second. What are the odds Bernard knows exactly who that lamp belongs to?
Yeah, what are the odds of that? You know, if he doesn't know now, he will know.
2 out of 3 people in this room know. It's,
Oh, boy.
actually, it's in the summary, I think.
Oh boy.
It was very
Vlad's-
useful to Bernard at one point.
Vlad is going to, you know what? Staying on top of that roof of that hotel is a bad idea because if the sun comes up, then I can't get down. Well, I could if there's like a fucking roof access. So Vlad will hang out outside instead. I just thought of this, and he will wait until he sees Vice go into the hotel, but he won't approach. He's just gonna stay
Vice.
in the shadows.
Well, if you see that, then you see Vice go into the hotel, grab a beer, and then come back out to sit in the street.
Yeah. With that, I need to think about how to handle this properly.
You do. I would recommend that. Think about it.
Oh boy.
Just, I'm willing to add sessions.
We have 3 more days, Barboza, for that armor. And
Let's
Yeah,
make it worth it.
I'm down. Let's fucking throw down some shit. Let's fucking... Barboza hasn't seen enough yet.
Oh no,
it's never
still
seen enough.
there's still space for a few more statues to be erected, and
Adventure
Oh.
City.
the hub of fucking. That's
It literally is like the center of all fucking in the universe is like centered around this place. This is the lamp of fucking. Welcome to my fucking basement.
To the fucking.
Mephisto's fuckery. Ah, it literally is. It really is Mephisto's fuckery when you think about it.
It is. It is his fuck shop.
Yeah, this is my fuck palace.
I fucking love being Slanesh, bro. Slaneshi for
Say
life.
in before. I was expecting the in before fucking Vlad is a Slaneshian.
No.
He goes in as a man, he comes out as Slanesh man.
No. Now Vlad has experienced all three of the chaos entities to a degree.
Yeah.
I like how we're just pretending like Nurgle doesn't exist.
He's always there.
We experienced some Nurgle shit. That's what that Chaos Horde was fucking Nurglites. So
It was before the happening where the timeline got shifted. Now it's not a Nurgle horde anymore. It was a something else horde.
oh great. So
Pollux kind of fixed that up. He's like, no, Snurgle, you can't be part of the story.
fuck you, Nurgle. Nobody likes herpes.
I don't know. We could say that, technically Weiss is going through some Nurgle shit right now.
He has corn herpes.
Nah, it's like a mixture between Zinch and Nurgle herps. He's got the super clap.
I thought his arm was corn based. Isn't it a cornite arm thing or soul?
Yeah,
or something?
it is. But so okay, yeah, it is like corn and corn and Zinch then together, and they love that. They love being together.
Isn't that funny? The two most opposite.
I think that's kind of like what's.
The chaos god of war and honor.
If we can
Zinch.
talk about it, I think corn and Zinch, them being put together in one person's body, might not have a good effect on you.
Might make you fucking implode. Not explode, implode.
It's-
They are completely contradicting ideologies, and it's great.
That's probably
is gonna
why
have
Weiss is not having a good
great
time.
Vice is gonna. We gotta exercise them demons.
That's why right now Weiss is having some self-reflection, thinking about his life.
What are you gonna do with your life? You look for a priest for guidance, or then some fucking dude comes in and is like, bro, you're fucked. There's no helping you.
Roll to find skulls for the skull throne. Might as well just go for it.
Shit. How many skulls can we find? R1D9999. Shit, it's a lot of skulls.
8131. All right, I have to hop off though.
Alright, man.
Alrighty.
Yep. Take it easy, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Yep.
My struggle as a DM. How do you even?